What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. CDK, and this is Sports Talk Network. Give me 1 second, man. I'm trying to get this together. I'm moving a little slow this morning. I was tired last night, man. Long weeks of work. But y'all see the title, man, and y'all know what I'm about to talk about, man. None other than Mr. Derrick James himself and Ryan Garcia reconnecting. We had a great night of boxing last night. There's plenty to talk about, man. Plenty of fights, plenty of action last night. But I definitely want to get into that and how I feel about. One second, man. I'm waiting on somebody to pull in. I'm waiting on somebody to come in. All right, all right. Now let me get to business, man. First and foremost, man. Like I said, we had a great night of boxing last night. Some great action. Brian Norman took care of business, man. Shout out to him and doing what he's supposed to do.
Here.
What's good, bro?
What's up, my guy?
Man, I'm just chilling, man. Overslept, man. I was tired, so I'm starting late today, but I'm starting to get this action together. 1 second, I apologize for that.
No,
Now,
you
let me
good, man.
right here. How do you feel about Derrick James and Ryan Garcia? I'm gonna get right into it. How do you feel about those two guys reconnecting?
I
What's
mean,
good, bro? Salute.
I mean, it's crazy, but I mean, shout out to Derrick James for getting a job. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at it, but I don't think
Yeah,
it. I don't think he is nothing that he can do to try to change Ryan. Ryan is who he is, so I don't. He can't fight for Ryan.
definitely, I agree with that. Uh, you know what I'm saying? I don't really. I'm not like you said. I'm not mad at Derrick James for getting the job. I don't know. I know Earl Spencer's moved on. We also know. I don't know if Frank Martin is still there. I don't know what
Yeah,
Derrick James has going on. But we know what Ryan Garcia is as a person, a human being. Even outside of the boxing ring, his true colors have shown. So that's what I really just hate, the fact that what I'm saying. I feel like Derrick James got to take money over integrity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that he probably ain't got no fighters right now, and Ryan Garcia reached out to him, but I'm trying to figure out. It seems like Eddie Reynoso is kind of trying to cut ties with anybody that has anything going on that ain't right. You see that right now he's not training Teofimo Lopez, and
yeah.
Teofimo saying one thing, but I believe as you can see right now with these both of these guys, we know their background as being two racist. It seems like that he's cut ties with both of those guys, Canelo's camp. Do you think that's what it is?
I mean, it possibly could be. Eddie Reynoso. I don't really rock with them. Eddie Reynoso and the Juice Crew.
Yeah,
I don't rock with them. So but it definitely could be. They showed their true colors and who they are. So I don't even really like to talk about them too much. They this To and all these guys. They just scumbags, man. That's just I don't know how else to say it.
definitely, definitely. And going off into another topic, man. The first thing I seen, I hate when you see something and first thing you look at a title and they said, "Well, Earl Spence fans are mad." And I had dropped a comment in somebody's. I won't name the channel, but I dropped a comment in the comment section, letting them know it's not about being an Earl Spence fan. It's about a person saying something that makes him look bad. It doesn't make
Right.
Earl Spence look bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Said QT said Derrick James got to be down bad. I'm sure that EJ Case ain't free. You definitely right, QT, man.
That's
I
savage
feel the
comments.
same way, man. Derrick James got to be down bad, man. I'm glad somebody said it, man. That's what I wanted to hear.
I
You know
ain't
what
want
I'm
to
saying?
say it like that. You know what I mean? But hey.
Man, he told the truth. You can't cut it no other way.
Yeah, it's out there now. So you maybe, I mean, for him to go back to Ryan, I mean, Ryan got to be paying him. So Derrick James might need that check, man. You never know how these people lifestyles are behind the scenes, bro. They might need a little 50,000, 30,000, 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Who can't use a payday like that? So I
Man,
mean, shout
definitely.
out to him for getting a job, but the brother said he down bad. That's crazy.
Hey man, I was thinking the same thing. I just didn't. I usually say it. I didn't want to say it. I like Derrick James, But man, it seems like that he is down bad right now for him to definitely, reach out to Ryan Garcia, or Ryan Garcia reach out to him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I believe Brian probably reached out to him. If anything.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, it seems like Eddie Reynoso, and I think that's more of Canelo. I can see Canelo telling him, hey man, my fan base is great, but Canelo do have, what I'm saying, let me say this right here, whether people want to believe this or not. Shout out to Free, my brother on the stage. Canelo has people of us, like us, of a color, that like him as a fighter. And Canelo
Yeah,
realizes that. And I don't think that Canelo wants to be tied in with two known races. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
just how I feel about it. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think about that, Free? Can you
Say
hear
that
me, Free?
again.
I say I
Yeah,
believe,
say that again.
Eddie Reynoso has cut ties with Ryan Garcia, it seems like, and Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like to me that, Canelo realizes that he also has black fans and stuff, and I don't think Canelo wants to be associated with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he don't want to be associated because doesn't want to bring any bad light on his career because and his camp because
I don't know why it's cutting out.
because he's at the end of his career and he wants to be put that he wants to go down as one of the best Mexicans that ever fought, and he doesn't want a bad light because we already know Eddie Reynoso had had the whole narrative behind him that he got a camp full of cheaters over there. They majority of them pop dirty, so he's trying to clean up his image far as a fighter and his camp. So he doesn't want any bad light on his camp and his career. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's definitely what it is, and I respect Canelo for that. You know what I'm saying? I think that Canelo's doing making the right move. Get away from those guys. And QT said, I'm not in Texas, but I'm sure DJ got charities in the black communities he working with at races though. Man, 100% agree with that too. You know what I'm saying? QT ain't holding back. He ain't cutting no corners. He just saying what it is. And I feel like that's what I hate. I hate that I feel like Derrick James with everything going on is taking money over integrity. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we got to do what we got to do. He got to feed his family. Hey, that's what he want to do. I can't be mad at him. I'm just bringing it up and talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about this, man. Brian Norman. He took care of business last night. We also seen Shoo Shoo. There was a lot of action last night. Michaela Mayer took care of business. I mean, Brian Norman and Boots is the fight now that everybody wants to see. If Boots is able to take care of business, we know what he got coming up, what's in front of him. How do y'all feel about that fight after watching Brian Norman last night?
Brian Norman and Boots.
Yeah, how do y'all feel about that now?
I still feel the same way I've been felt about it. I feel even more that way. I think Boots beat Brian Norman because I seen some things that Brian Norman did last night that leads me to believe that he would get caught with a big shot when he was leading with that big wide left hook. He was
Mm-hmm.
lunging in with that left hook. I think he did it probably about 5 or 6 times, and he missed every time, and he left himself wide open. Now, the fighter that he fought last night wasn't able to capitalize on it, but a individual like Boots who got fast reflexes and quick hand and got power in both his hands, that's a bad recipe. He swing that open left hook like that and miss big, and Boots see that, and Boots capitalize on it. The next time he does it, it could be very bad for Brian Norman. So um, I still feel the same way I felt about it. I will say Brian Norman did what he was supposed to do. He got the guy out of there. I give him a B plus because, like I said, there was certain situations where I saw that Brian Norman didn't put himself in the best position to and well, he put himself in a bad position to be countered, but the opponent just didn't do it. So I give him a B plus because, like I said, a better fighter, if he was to do that with a better fighter and he was to miss badly like he was last night, he could very well get put down. So I give him a B plus, but I still feel like Boots will beat him.
I gave him a B two. CDK. He
Can't hear you, Brian.
Pride, you went out.
You went out. 1 second, 1 second.
How
Yeah,
about
Prize
now?
went out. Go ahead.
Can you
You
hear me
good
now?
now?
Yeah, I'm moving around the house. But yeah, he hurt the guy. Brian Norman Jr. hurt the guy, and then he leaped in there and got clipped with a nice 2-piece. And like Free said, Boots will expose that. But I still want to see the fight though. You don't know because if he land one of them looping shots on Boots, we don't know. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to down the fight, talk down on the fight. But he can't do that. I mean, I give him a B. Free, would you give him a B plus? I give him a B. He got when I seen him wobble the guy a little bit, and he jumped in there like that, and that dude hit him. If Jerron would have hit him like that, he would have went down. But I still want to see the fight though.
Okay, Dan.
Salute, salute, salute.
Salute.
Yeah, I saw the fight. I don't know this problem I have with Brian Norman. His right hand, like it's very undisciplined. It's very loose. It's not really that tight against his. It's not really that tight against his face. So he gets clipped and he gets hit with those shots like against that guy Boca Chica. He kept dropping his right hand and he got dropped a couple times. Um, but that being said, it's like you said, Prize. He got that power. Like I don't even think he lay. It was a jab. Was it a jab or was it a straight right hand? I just remember it was
It
like
was
a straight
it
jab.
was like a right hook that caught him, and the jab is actually what finished him off.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So he has insane power. You see it in his physique as well as in the performance. The performance says against Santillana and then this dude. So yeah, like Prize said, I want to see the Boots fight. Even though I think Boots would beat him within an inch of his life, that's my opinion. I still want to see the fight
Yeah. Crush.
because he definitely got a puncher's stance. He could
What's
definitely
good,
win.
Crush? What's good, Crush? What do you think, Crush, Mr. Crush, the legend in the building? What do you think, Crush, about the fight and about the upcoming fight if it happens?
Uh, we talking about Zepeda?
No, I'm talking about Boots and after
Oh yeah,
seeing Brian
Boots and
Norman last
Brian
night.
Norman and Junior. My bad. I want to see the fight. I listened to a lot what D Free said, so there's some things that Brian Norman definitely need to tighten up on if he's as highly confident as he's saying that he is to go in there and beat a guy like Jerron Ennis. Regardless of the fact that Brian Norman Jr. can punch. Yes, he can. But what if Bruce Ennis got the granite chin to take that punch, that power, and don't really be phased by it? Then what's the next thing for Brian Norman to do? Because the only thing I hear people actually giving him, a lot of people think he punch harder than Boots. I don't really heard anybody give Brian Norman Jr. any other advantage over Boots Ennis. And I think you just going to need more than just power to beat a level skill set of Boots Ennis because he does have a chin. And yes, Brian can punch. But just like D3 alluded to, he lunging in and he leave himself as wide open as a brand new brothel. You know what I mean? 10% off. And a guy like Bruce Ennis, who's definitely into
Wow.
making you pay for you missing, you don't want to be throwing those shots in there against a guy like Boots. I don't give a damn who it is. Not going to make me change my mindset. Because he's one guy you cannot make mistakes against, and that's the sport of boxing overall. But Brian Norman got some holes he need to tighten up on if he going in there and trying to knock out Boots Ennis. And I rest my case. But right now, it's a 50-50 fight until fight night. Facts over feelings, and I got the moist meter just to push the button if I need to activate it.
That's right, and I agree 100% with Crush. What Crush just said, man, I agree 100% with you. I'm gonna say this right here. I gave him an A for time off and coming back after an injury. Now his performance, I gave him a B. You know what I'm saying? I gave him a.
Yeah, I gave him a B also.
Not a B plus in my opinion because of the lunging, and I seen some things that he need to work on. He definitely lunging against Boots. I think the power crunch right there on top of both those guys have good power. And Boots does have a chin. Now, Brian Norman, I believe, has been down once in his career. I think he's been down once or twice, something like that. Boots hasn't been down. We've seen Boots take some good shots. I think he's going to need bring a lot more to the table. I think he's gonna need to work on a few things, but I think it'll be an excellent fight for as long as it lasts. Shout out to BVO in the building. The Black Mexican is here, my brother. BVO.
Yeah. I don't think that Boots and Brian Norman fight goes the distance. I think somebody gets stopped. I definitely think somebody gets stopped.
Somebody get put to bed.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and I ain't saying who. I'm just saying. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you. If I'm getting my honest opinion, I'm a Boots fan. So you know what I'm saying, and I'm a fan of Brian Norman. I like both of those guys. But Boots to me right now is the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme of the 147-pound division. That's just my personal opinion, and I like Brian Norman Senior. You know what I'm saying, a whole lot. But I got to give an honest assessment of what I see and what I think. You know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna come up here and tell no lie just because I like somebody. You understand what I'm saying? And I think we all like Brian Norman Sr. We've had the opportunity to talk with him, but I would be fake if I got up here and said I think his son beats Boots just based on that. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me see what BBO said. DJ has to do what's best for him. We all have made exceptions to make some money. This does not make DJ a good or bad person. That's what we've been talking about, BBO.
Yeah.
We definitely said that.
Let me speak on that.
Go ahead, Crush.
Okay. It's been a minute since the last time I noticed Derrick James getting a payday. It's been a minute. I can't remember the last time he got a payday. You know what I mean? The last thing I can remember is Errol Spence out. What Ryan Garcia, the first Ryan Garcia, I think in the tank fight.
Frank Martin. Frank Martin.
The Frank Martin.
Okay, that's the last one. But you know, even before Frank Martin, there wasn't much there for Derrick James. So for Ryan Garcia to call up Derrick James, that shows me Ryan Garcia does appreciate, regardless of what his goofy stuff. We're not talking about that right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about him making that call to Derrick James.
We're not talking about him being a racist.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that right now. We cover everything, okay? We're gonna cover the bad, we're gonna cover the good too. But for him to call up Derrick James, shows me, in my honest opinion, that he appreciates the toolage that he learned up under Derrick James. And I think even though he's going where he's going at, he knows that for a fact he need that Derrick James thing there again for him to keep on doing what he's been doing. Because Ryan Garcia, like him, love it or not, he ain't supposed to be getting in the ring and be prepared to lay it down to nobody, no matter what his mindset is. And he's still able to beat some guys too, with that being said. So yeah, get Derrick James a payday, and that's cool. There's no problem with that. Get that money. Somebody call you up, get that money.
Let me ask Crush and Market Dan this, because I didn't get to ask y'all this. Now we're looking at that, but let's look deeper into it and take a look at Eddie Reynoso and Canelo Alvarez. You notice that they dropped off Teofimo Lopez, and now they dropped off Ryan Garcia, it seems like. Do y'all think that's Canelo Alvarez saying, like what Free said? I agree with what Free said, that Canelo doesn't want to have that on his, part of his team. He wants to be looked at in a good light.
I wouldn't disagree with that, because Canelo, he likes to play golf. He has a lot of he talks to a lot of important African American people. So
Black Americans, man. Damn.
Black Americans.
Man, whatever you want to call it, whatever. I really don't care.
It's what it
Black
is.
Americans, African Americans. I'm trying to be correct and just finish my statement, nigga. Y'all do that, okay?
I'm gonna correct you, goddamn.
Stop trying to control my speech.
American, goddamn it.
Stop trying to control my speech. You
I'm older than that term, Marky.
Y'all boys is crazy.
I'm older than that damn term.
I respect it, okay?
I don't call us Black Americans. Goddamn shit.
All right. Black Americans. He plays golf with a lot of important Black Americans, such as Stephen Curry, Michael Jordan. He's upscale with them people. Okay? So he doesn't want Ryan Garcia. He doesn't want Teofimo. He don't need that. Because you already see Jimmy Butler don't like Ryan Garcia. He looked like he wanted to slap that dude when he was playing poker.
Yeah.
I thought he was going sucker punch him in my opinion, but
he was scared. He didn't want no parts of Ryan. He was scared.
You make a great point. Cinnamon Red does have American fan base following besides Mexican Americans or whatever. He has all sorts of Americans that's a part of his fan base. That's the reason why that's another part of this man being the face of boxing. That's not just because of Mexicano, okay? So y'all need to stop all that cat. That's why he's the face of boxing. A lot of people like him. Mostly everybody be asking casual or not, especially the cat. You know who Canelo is? Yeah. I heard of that guy, and half of them probably never seen none of his fights, but he's like, I heard Floyd Mayweather, heard he did this. Some of them even know about the Terrence Crawford shit. Never seen the man fight. So, yeah, he ain't supposed to be messing up his image, having these goddamn old racist tyrants around and all that. Hell, goddamn no. Because if they keep acting the way that they acting, people, somebody's going to come down on their ass. They come down on anybody else that's an entertainer. They go at politicians and so and so. They keep playing around. A fan is going to have something for their ass. They better not run into me because I'm guilty as charged. I'm going to smack the ish out of them. Don't you ever disrespect the guys of this planet again, god damn it.
Y'all boy lost. So.
That's right. That's right. Man, Mr. Crusher, legend in the building. Love it. I agree with you, man. I think BBO said champion nowadays. I guess he's adding on, so you may only see guys fight every 9 months. Speaking of BBO and his brother, Emiliano Vargas, let me say this right here. You know what I'm saying? Emiliano Vargas is at 140 pounds. I thought he was. Why does he keep worrying about what's going on at the 135-pound division? Can somebody please give me an answer on that?
He want to be a part of that money.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what it is. What it is the fact that he knows that there's a young guy down there at 135 that everybody wanted to see him fight eventually, and he moved out of the weight class. So I mean, the only relevance that he has is compared to Abdullah Mason because they're from the same era. They're behind that era of Tank Davis, Shakur, and Devin. They that next era. So right now, his contemporary is Abdullah Mason. So people want to bring it up, mainly BBO, but the problem is Abdullah Mason is at 135 and Vargas is at 140. He was at 135, but I guess he couldn't make the weight anymore. I don't know. When I heard that he was at 140, his last fight, I was surprised because I didn't know that he had moved up. I didn't hear that he was having problem making a weight. I didn't even know he was planning on moving up to 140. So I was surprised that he had moved up to 140. But nevertheless, he's at 140. Abdullah's at 135. They are contemporary, so they're going to be compared against each other. But, I mean, if you want the smoke, go back down to 35 and fight him. Or wait at 140 for him to come up there.
Before y'all answer, let me say this right here. Okay, yo, daddy, what's good with you? He said, what it do, y'all? Nobody knew he moved up to 140 because he snuck out the back door. And I believe somebody need to get that paintbrush out with that yellow paint and put a streak down his back. He knew what he was doing. He was running. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to keep it real. He ran out of the division. He didn't let nobody know he was leaving. He backdoored everybody, you know what I'm saying, by saying, hey, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Only person knew was his daddy. Fernando said, hey, man, you ain't got no business in the ring with that young man. Let's move up another weight class and then talk about him. So that's what I seen. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you, CDK, but I don't know why he ran 140 thinking, it was going to do anything for him because it's a whole lot of stuff up there at 140. And I don't know how good this kid is going to be at 140. And it don't look like they're going to give him a real test at 140 right now. So we can see him getting in there with BBO with a bunch of young Lyft drivers, Uber drivers, and taxi drivers and everything, and limo drivers that pick you up from the airport when you coming into town and all that. So it seemed like, and like D3 said, he's gonna have to say and continue to say Abdullah Mason's name because ain't nobody pitting Vargas' name with nobody that's not a part of his peer, his class of fighters. He's not. So he's trying to do that. That's not going to work for him. Everybody's not going to get the opportunity of a Keyshawn Davis. I know what Vargas trying to do on the low. I've been peep game, but I'm blowing the whistle on it, and my name ain't too short. We know what he's trying to do, but it's not going to work for him because who can he possibly yell at 140 that anybody going to even give him any attention? We all going to say the same thing. This boy's out of his goddamn mind, and we ain't going to even waste no time giving him that much attention because he don't bring that much excitement, you know, to the crowd. Like, we know who Keyshawn Davis is. I mean, Keyshawn Davis, Mr. Business, worked himself into being a prospect with a goddamn belt. Never was even a goddamn contender. We gonna call it what it is over here on Sports Network. I'll pull all the layers back. Everybody here bucket naked in the nude when it comes to speaking these facts.
Yeah. I gotta
real quick, D3. Let me land the plane and you got it. You know, and so a lot of these guys is trying to do that, you know, get that manufacturer, get moved a certain way. Well, Emiliano, you don't have the mass appeal. BBO say he look good. What, he look good with the Jordache look? Because he don't look good enough to get the look, to get the hook up like Master P in the sport of boxing. I'm passing the D3. My plane has landed, goddamn.
Yeah. I wanted to know why they didn't push Emiliano. I mean, they seem like they trying to push Emiliano Vargas, but if you look at it, Keyshawn Davis has the same amount of fights as Emiliano Vargas. Why did Keyshawn Davis get a title fight before Emiliano Vargas? They look like they trying to push him, but he's not in contention for a title fight. They didn't move him as fast as they moved Keyshawn Davis. Now, yeah, granted, Keyshawn Davis is a silver medalist, and they try to push those Olympians a little bit faster, but they look like they trying to push Emiliano Vargas, but they're not giving him those top level. I mean, I ain't gonna say top level, but those contender fights. They're not giving them somebody ranked in the top 10. They giving them guys that's ranked below the top 10. So I just don't know how much are they trying to push him, because I'm looking at Keyshawn. They roughly got the same amount of fight. I think Emiliano Vargas got 13, Keyshawn got 12. So Keyshawn is already a champion. Like I said, granted, he is a silver medalist in the Olympics, but they look like they want to showcase Emiliano Vargas. Every time you see him, they got a big crowd. They put him somewhere in a stadium that's feasible to his crowd. Like, there's a lot of Mexicans on the card, or there's a lot of Mexicans in the crowd. With Keyshawn, they just gave him tough fights after tough fights as he's been moving up, and he became a champion. Emiliano Vargas, and I just compared it last night with BBO. He was talking about Emiliano Vargas fighting competition that Abdullah Mason would never fight. Well, when I did it, first of all, Abdullah Mason got 4 more fights than Emiliano Vargas. But when you look at their resume, the wins and losses of their opponents, Abdullah Mason, his opponents is 90, 43, 90, 47, and 7. Emiliano Vargas is 84, 40, 43, and 8. Abdullah Mason is almost doubled. He's more than double the amount of wins and losses versus his opponents. It's literally double. So I'm like, you saying Emiliano Vargas fighting tough competition? Well, Abdullah Mason shows that he's fighting tougher competition. And then he was like, well, he got 4 more fights. Granted, let's go to the first 6 fights. The first 6 fights, Abdullah Mason, his opponents was, I forgot what the number was. I think it was like off by like 8. But Emiliano Vargas, his wins and losses was off by like 3. I mean, yeah, I think it was off by like 3. I think his opponents was like 26 and 13 or something like that. And Abdullah Mason was like 38 and 14. So I'm like, no, it's not even close. It's not even close. He's fighting tougher competition. In the first 6 fights, you mount up the same amount of fights. The first 6, Abdullah Mason, he's fighting tougher opponents. So I just don't know how they pushing Emiliano Vargas. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get the numbers.
Keyshawn Davis and Emiliano Vargas. I just looked it up.
I'm gonna get the numbers because I don't want to be wrong. I'm gonna get the numbers
Yeah.
for what
I want you to
Vargas.
get these numbers, Free. I want you to get these numbers. Keyshawn Davis and Emiliano Vargas both have 13 fights apiece. Let's compare their first 13 opponents.
No, I mean, it's
I
not
like to
even
see
close.
those numbers.
It's not even close. It's not even
'Cause they
close
both got
because
13
I can
fights.
tell you.
It was.
I can tell you right now. It's not even close because Emiliano Vargas, his 13 fights is 84. It's 84 and 40 and 43 and 8. They got 8 draws. 84 wins, 43 losses, and 8 draws. I can tell you right now, Keyshawn Davis, his first 13 opponents, because he only fought 13 fights. His first 13 opponents is more than 84 wins and is less than 43 losses. I can tell you that right now. I know that for a fact. I don't have the exact number. I can go add it up if you want me to, but I can tell you right now, it's more than 84 wins and it's less than 43 losses.
Yeah. Add it up for BVO.
I added up for BVO because I know
I'm
BVO
looking at the
is a
record.
non-believer.
Keyshawn Davis, last opponent was what was it? 19-0, 20-91, 31-2. There's levels to this game. You understand what I'm saying? There's levels to this.
I'm gonna add it up for BVO.
Emiliano Vargas is fighting my great granddaddy friend. That's what he's fighting right now. You know what I'm saying? So but I like the kid. I like to make fun and play and just mess with BVO, but he's not ready for one of those fights. He's not. We letting Free add that up because I definitely want to see. But at the same time, like I said, Keyshawn Davis on another level. They brought up Keyshawn Davis' name last night, and Emiliano Vargas basically said he's lining him up. If y'all didn't know, what y'all think about that?
He lining Keyshawn up?
He's lining up Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah, all right. He ain't ready for that. He ain't ready for that. He will get absolutely destroyed in that.
They brought him up last night. That's what he's preparing.
Nah, he better not.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Keyshawn he would absolutely annihilate that.
But what about this guy last night, y'all talking about Brian?
I mean, that's literally how his daddy. That's literally how his daddy shortened his career, fighting fights he wasn't supposed to too damn early.
Yeah. Yep. He was in there with Oscar. He was in there with Tito. He had no business in there.
He took a lot of fights.
He had no business in there with Tito.
His son would learn.
And his daddy was a warrior.
Yeah, no doubt, 100%. One of my favorite Mexican fighters.
His dad pushed him up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. I like the Vargas, man. Fernando Vargas as a fighter. But like you said, he took those fights too early in his career. He wasn't ready for them. That was bad from the promotional standpoint, too, of them allowing him to take those fights, I feel like.
24.
I guess, but
adding up Keyshawn.
I mean, they just trying to make money. It's a business.
What you say?
They just trying to make money. It's a business.
Yeah, it's a business. I
Not only that, they said Vargas was party. Yeah,
but don't you think Marky Dan?
48. 57.
Hey, Marky Dan, don't you think they could have made more money in the long run though?
Hey, but I mean, that's what happened when you take a risk and you believe in something. If he had won those fights,
14,
he'd have made
17,
triple the
19.
money. If he had beat Tito Trinidad, he'd have been a Mexican hero, folk hero.
Yeah, he would.
All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Big fight for him.
Y'all ready? Here goes Keyshawn. The win-loss record for Keyshawn Davis. His 13 fights, like I told you, Emiliano Vargas was 84, 43, and 7. Keyshawn Davis win-losses for his opponents, 256, 27, and 5. Told you, it's not even close.
Man.
Wow.
Thomas Hill, Mr.
That's
Thomas Hill.
Goddamn shame.
I told you it's not even close, dog. I already knew. I knew Keyshawn last 4 opponents have fought over 30 fights.
Emiliano Vargas is protected.
And he slid up out of 35.
Outside of board check, Keyshawn last 4 opponents had fought over 30 fights. I knew it wasn't even close. I know it wasn't close.
BVO is talking some cappery. This kid is okay. He ain't proven yet.
No,
Yeah.
like I said, that man is close. Like Abdullah Mason is close to what Keyshawn is doing, but Abdullah Mason fought 17 fights, so he's still a prospect. He's still in a
Thomas
prospect
Hill
level,
in the building.
but
Thomas
he's
Hill
close.
said D Free.
Tommy Hill.
Thomas Hill in the building. Mr.
He
Thomas Hill said D
he's
Free calling
close.
fights in the
A million
backdrops.
Vargas is not even close.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. He's definitely not close. But let's get a kid time. You know what I'm saying, and see what he does.
Yeah, he gonna
I
need
just
some damn time.
don't like pushing people too early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Crush? I don't like jumping on bandwagons and pushing people too early. I think if we're gonna push someone, Abdullah Mason has earned the right to, start being looked at as maybe becoming a contender. I feel like he's on the verge, on the cusp of being a real contender right now. He's ahead of
I
Emiliano
told
Vargas,
you.
if we keep it real.
I told
Tell him.
BBO prize fighter Marky Dan Crush. I told all of them after this fight that he has in April, he's going to be considered a contender. They're going to put him in the top 10 in one of these sanctioner bodies. He's going to be in the top 10 after this fight. Especially if he gets a knockout. If he gets a knockout, he's going to be ranked in the top 10 in one of the sanctioner bodies. Don't know which one, but one of them, he's going to be ranked in the top 10.
More than likely, what Bob orders.
Yeah, I agree with
Probably.
that.
I mean, it could be the WBO. I don't know which one it's going to be.
Bob
I just know
Earns,
he's going to be
y'all
ranked in the top 10.
Do y'all, let me ask y'all this, because all of us, you know what I'm saying, are Tank fans, we like Tank or whatever. What do y'all feel about Clarissa Shields' statements? And I think it came from a place. I was going to say, I think it come from a place of love, what I was going to say.
My bad, CDK. I just wanted to respond to pretty quickly. He's already. Yeah, I can hear you, CDK.
Go ahead.
My bad for cutting you off. I just wanted to respond quickly to what Free said. Abdullah's already number 8 in the WBO.
Okay.
Let me see.
I didn't know he was already ranked. Well,
he's
he
number
is a
7.
contender.
Yeah, he's number 7 in the WBC.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. I thought he was still out.
So
The
he's
last time
ranked
I
in
saw
those two
it, he was
sanctioning
ranked
bodies.
the last time I saw it, he was ranked like 15 and 13. So I didn't even know that. So yeah, he's a contender now. He's a contender.
My bad for cutting you off, Tommy Hill. That was crazy. Oh, Tommy Hill fell out.
CDK dropped off.
Excuse me, CDK
dropped
CDK.
off. I didn't even know that. That's even more relevant of saying he's further along than Emiliano Vargas. Emiliano Vargas wasn't ranked in none of the sanctioned bodies when he left 35. He's definitely not ranked in none of the sanctioned bodies at 140.
No, he's not. He's not. What I was going to ask y'all was this right here. Clarissa Shields made a statement the other day, and we know her and Tank have had their back and forth, but I think it came from a place of love, and it wasn't no hate what she said. She was saying, basically that she felt like, Tank is a phenomenal fighter, but she feels like that Tank needs to work on the fruit as far as his getting his mental health together. She feel like he don't have the love like he used to, and she was talking about Tank was saying that he wanted to be more nicer to his kids and whatever he was saying. She, he said, I don't know, I want to quote her wrong, but what do y'all think about what she's saying? Did she think Tanks need a therapist and to work on the few things?
Well,
good, DP.
Tank is already in therapy, but he doesn't want to fully commit to the therapy because he said he wants to keep that fighter's mentality. He said if he goes through the therapy to be a better person, that's when he wants to retire. That's why he said he feel like he's going to retire at the end of this year because he do want to go through the therapy to be a better person for his kids. But he knows if he goes through the therapy, it's going to kind of tone him down, and he want to keep that fighter mentality so he can always be on his A game. And I think that might have been some of what we saw when he fought Lamont Roach. He was going through that therapy. It kind of toned him down a little bit. So that could be part of it. So, I mean, it's not she has a valid point, but he's already planning on doing that.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know if I respect how you feel, Free. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I don't know
That
if y'all really can
or
hear
you
me,
know, I
man.
respect
My,
that if
my
that's
phone
how
is getting
Tank
the best
feels.
reception right now.
Yeah, my
But
reception. I
if you
don't know what's
can't hear
going
me,
Oh,
on.
my bad.
yeah,
Oh,
mine's
big
backed
boy.
up too. I'm up on it.
Damn.
I can hear
Yeah, he
you.
look like he want to get it.
Yeah, what's
So
good,
so
Tommy
for
Hill?
me, I think that she offered that from a good place. And I'm never gonna knock nobody who's actually looking out for the well being or the concern of another person. She may be
Yeah,
even right to a certain degree of what she speak of. But the last time we talked, I know nobody really wanna hear it. But and I don't even care because whenever you get in the ring, say case in point with Spence and Bud, man, I know Spence wasn't right getting into that ring. And I don't care what nobody else say. That don't take away from what Bud did. What things everybody expected in that ring, right? The reason it was. And see, because it was kind of played out in the very next fight for Bud. It wasn't as easy for him as it was for him in that ring with Spence. That being the case, with Tank, it was a lot of distraction. I say distraction. It forces him and him that one piece of him, and he didn't want to give him, so to speak. You know, they was contacting him and messing with him, and he wanted out of it, and that's why he was like sending weird ass texts and and, and things of that nature, not having the necessary involvement in the press conference to sell the fight and things like that. He never is like that. And it's because of that. And it could be what she said. Maybe he does need some therapy as well too, because he wants to be a little bit better person for his family. But you in her business, you can't be trying to hurt folks and on that. So why whatever they put that they said about your boy Wilder, you can't be on that because you going in there with the intent to hurt somebody. What he got to do is for the remaining of his contract, focus himself, rededicate himself, block all that outside noise out, only keep to the people who've been there from the beginning and put his head down and grind because you only got but just a couple more fights on that contract. And after that, you can bow out. It's like, man, when you got to face retirement, you got like 5, 6 years. Man, you let go, you stick around, and you go on and just chug them 6 years out because you ain't trying to get nothing to derail that. You got to get to that mindset. And then after that, you'll get to then you can become the best person you can be for you, for your children and for your family and for those around you. But when you're in this sport, you got to compartmentalize everything and you got to separate the nonsense outside, the nonsense in your camp, and the nonsense that's in the ring. And you got to give the right energy for each one. And that's how I feel about it. And I give her respect because, she did offer that from a place of love. It wasn't no hate.
yeah, she
I,
did.
I agree.
Yeah,
If
it
I
wasn't no,
may
it
I
wasn't
add
no
agree.
hate.
on, if I may add on
Go ahead,
real
Crush.
quick, and this, I'm about to go there a little bit. Y'all know me, man. Listen. First of all, I want to say this. Basically, what I think she was saying, in other words, is that dude, like, you got nobody can teach you how to turn that switch on and off. Now, Tank is my guy, but that's a lame excuse, my guy, because there's been a whole lot of animals that's loving parents
Yeah,
that know how to
Yeah.
turn that shit on and off. I'm talking about a Sugar Ray Leonard that had nothing but evil intentions. They ain't never changed, getting away with him being a father to his children. Tank,
right.
my
I
God,
don't
you
know
got to
about that,
wait.
Crush.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished, bro.
My
I'm
bad, my
not
bad. I'll go on
finished.
mute.
Let me cook. Let me
Go ahead,
cook
Crush.
that. Listen, you
Cook,
got to
baby boy,
tighten up,
cook.
bro. You got to tighten up. There's a lot of people that had to turn that switch on and off in the sport of boxing, regardless of what the hell they was going through. A whole lot of other men in boxing was going through all type of things and maybe a little deeper than the abyss than you, Tank. You the only one to turn that switch off. You got to be your own therapist. You can't go to nobody for that. But she was basically saying, damn, he might need help with turning that switch on and off. That's what she was saying.
Yeah.
So if anybody in here listening, you know, that represent my man Tank, tighten up, Tank. And I'm a dude that keep it fair. You know,
Yeah.
I get all type of names about you, Tank, and I don't take none of them. But goddamn it, you got to toughen up, bro. Toughen up. See, you going in there and going through camp and being that animal for them damn months, it makes you miss being a parent. So after you give out a ass whipping and going through all that, you don't want nothing but love after that. You turn that shit the fuck off, my guy. You carrying luggage. No, you got to be like the everyday 9 to 5 person. You don't take the bullshit from work home, and you don't take the shit from home to the ring. And I rest my mother effing case.
Yeah. BVO said Tank
No,
is soft, Elder Hill.
no, absolutely. I
Okay,
hear. Go ahead.
no, go, Marky. No, go.
No,
Go ahead, Mark.
just quickly.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't hear the Clarissa Shields interview before. From what I'm gathering, y'all are saying that she said that Tank needs therapy to deal with what exactly what happened in the fight, or just his personality.
No, she was
Not
saying
flipping the
like,
switch like Crush
things
said.
she see. Go ahead, go ahead. You explained it better than me, so go ahead, Mr. Hill.
No. Like, I was just saying with CDK. Go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to overtalk you. Go
No,
ahead.
no, because
Polite asshole, man.
the way you explained it, you broke it down better, and I wanted to so you could
Well,
elaborate to mark it down what she said.
well, she's basically what Crush was saying in a nutshell, man. When you're boxing or you be in any kind of sport where it's like that, because you know that's sports combat, so to speak. You got to be able to cycle in through, compartmentalize when you're at home and when you're in the ring. You got that switch, so to speak, so that you be able to give the proper energy that you need to give to the ring. Likewise, get a proper energy that you got to give to your family and of that nature. So on that principle is what she really was saying. She's like, maybe he needs to go seek help so that he can understand how to displace the rage that he has to have in the ring from the rage that he needs to be around his kids. And then you can cook on that, and then I'll rebut. I'll not rebut, but I'll give my last bit on it.
Well, I'm gonna assume that came from a good faith. That she said that in good faith. Um, I think Tank is and has been working on himself. Just that situation that he had a few years ago with the girl calling the police, telling them that he was trying to end her life. Like I look at the body cam footage of how he acted. He was very calm, and I thought he was very mature. And I'm not saying that that's that's an indicator that his entire his entire personality has matured and shifted, but I think Tank has been growing up. Um, I don't think therapy would hurt him. I think it can only help him because he's came from some very tough situations with his family and his mother and his father. Um, my bad. Yeah.
You better get that ish in order, boy, before she whoop
Damn, that made
your
me
ass.
lose my train of thought.
Hey, let me say this right quick. I'm gonna respond to all that because everything Crush said is 100% spot on. Everything y'all saying is great feedback, and I feel like everybody has a great point. And your daddy said, yeah, but everyone is different at Crush. I respect the man that can admit they need help.
Yeah,
So,
and a point. My bad,
okay,
CJ. Go ahead.
go ahead. What I was gonna say was this about turning the switch on and off, and something that Crush said, and I'm taking it from outside the ring to me. If you see me around my kids, anybody know me, I love my kids. I'm a different person. Now I done changed my whole life, but there was a time when I was in the streets, man, and I was a different type of individual, and I was moving different, and I didn't have a problem with, I hate to say this, I didn't have a problem with doing anything to protect me or my respect or my reputation. And sometimes I done things that I didn't want to do, but I ended up going to get therapy because I felt like I needed someone to talk to as far as to manage, you know what I'm saying, my anger issues and to try to find out what the problem was. But, it never was a problem for me to turn the switch on and off at home. That's what I'm saying. I could always turn it off. I could come through my door and be like a person. My kids would look at me like, man, ain't no way he can harm nobody. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I moved at home. It's a lot different. And that switch, you have to know how to. Can't nobody tell you how to do that but yourself. I gotta agree with Kush on that. When it comes to getting in that ring, turning the switch on and off, we look at Mike Tyson, people like that, man. We know you see how Mike is with his kids. I ain't never heard nothing bad about Mike Tyson when it comes to him being a family man. Everything I've heard, you know what I'm saying, is inside the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just about to
that was a
say that.
point I wanted to make before I lost my
Hold
train
up.
of thought. That boxers are different, and you even hear fighters like Bobby Chacon and other legends say that because you're a fighter, it changes how you are. You can't be a good, or I ain't gonna say a good, but you can't be the traditional father. You can't be the traditional husband because you got to spend so much time indulging in violence, really, and spending so much time in the gym, but I don't know. A lot of fighters, or excuse me, a lot of fighters from that era, like Ray Leonard. I ain't gonna say he was a perfect father. Like he had some allegations himself. I ain't gonna get into, but I don't know. I think Tank has been growing up, and I want to give him credit because I think he has been a better father to his kids. And from what I've been hearing, or excuse me, from what I've not been hearing, I haven't been hearing any mess about him for a while
Yeah.
now.
What I would say, I was just about to say about the Mike Tyson situation. Like if you look at Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson was at the height of his career, Mike Tyson wasn't a good father. He'll tell you he wasn't. He wasn't a good father. He didn't spend time with
Yeah.
his kids. That's why you see Mike Tyson now. He's a
Yeah,
family man. He no longer fights. So some people are able to turn it off and on, but not all
yeah,
of them. You hear fighters all the time. I didn't get a chance to spend time with my kids because I was so focused on my career. I wasn't that father that I should have been. Now you have guys like Roy Jones who was all about his sons. He was there all the time for his son. But you have some that they don't know how to turn it off because they so focused on achieving a certain goal in their career. It's the same thing with regular life. Not even in a boxing ring. You have some people that so focused on their career that they want to get to a certain level that they don't have that time for their family. That's why you see a lot of these big time executives, they lose their family because they were so focused on their career they didn't have time to spend with their family, and so the wife got fed up and they end up leaving. So it's just not just boxers. It's all forms of life. You go through that. Some people know how to turn it off. Some people don't.
let me say this right quick. Thank you for
Okay.
that, Free. And let me make this clear. What I was saying was, for me, I knew how to turn the anger off. Like I was an angry young man. Like I was doing a lot of stuff in the street. I was into a lot of stuff. Just put it that way. I ain't gonna be no 600 whack 100 and big you and bring all that to the internet. I'm just gonna say, uh, I done a lot of stuff that I wasn't proud of, but I knew how to turn the switch off when I came to the door as far as my anger. Now, I've learned how to be a much better father because I spent so much time in and out of prison and stuff like that that I wasn't spending a lot of time with my kids in that aspect. But I'm saying once I came through the door, you couldn't tell who I was outside of the, in the streets. So I knew how to turn that switch off. Now, BVO over here said, I don't know any bigger protectors of Tank Davis than Elder Hill and Crush. Get off the gas. The Negro is crazy and needs help. Then he said, Tank almost unalive a car full of women, and a pregnant woman was in the car. Tank is a monster. He can't hide from that reality.
No,
Hey,
First, first,
let
BBO
me,
first,
let me,
BBO. Go ahead,
first,
Thomas. Go ahead, Thomas.
yeah, let me go. Let me just go real quick because I got to go collect the money now. Now I'm just kidding.
all
Look, look,
right,
look.
don't do no Marvin Sapp now.
Yeah.
Never would have made it. Never would have made it.
Man,
Hey, check
speak
it
your
out. Check
facts,
it out. Check
Tommy
it out.
Hill. Speak your facts.
Check it out, though. For real. Upon three things that was said: that switch, cutting it off, manning up, knowing how to do it. CDK, you said that you used to be out there doing things that you wouldn't be proud of, but when you came home to your family, you do it. And then with D Free just said about how some people can do it, some people can't. And then my man Marky D said, "Yo, it looks as though he can do better with how he's handling." But we do know the kids, but that problem. Else at the push the needle, but now
You're
had
going
problem with
in and
doing it
out.
before. He's always said, even from a youth, you now,
You
even
chopping up,
from
bro.
young buck, you know.
Chopping up. The weather's bad
All
here, man.
right,
I apologize.
bet. No, it
Let's
ain't
get
you.
back.
It's I'm up in the. You can hear me still
You still choppy.
or not?
Still
You
choppy.
chop it a little bit.
I bet. I'll let somebody else have it. I'll let somebody else have it. I'll be back with you guys in the chat about it.
All right, real quick.
Okay. Go ahead, Crush.
Now, first of all, let me see this. I ain't say nothing in my dialogue that was protecting the man.
No.
BBO. Let me just correct you. And yo, daddy, I never said there was anything wrong with him going to get help. I never said that. Y'all gotta stop changing people's words up, man. If he need the help, hopefully it works for him. But self-help is the best help that you can get. Because sometimes, you can go seek help. But if you're seeking help from people that never been down that road, they're not gonna be much of a help. But I wish him the best. But as long as he in this damn sport, he better tighten up no matter if he need help from anybody or he gotta dig down in that damn chamber. Because if he keep coming in the ring like that, somebody gonna put him on his ass bag, and he's just damn.
Let me say this about BBO, because I hear BBO mention this from time to time. BBO, you supposed to be a man of God. You talk about all this stuff, but you don't know how to forgive. You don't know how to forgive. You still bringing up stuff that happened, almost 8 years ago.
Yeah.
This one was almost 8 years ago when this happened. And you still bringing it up. That stuff is over and done with. He paid his debt to society. The girl got what she wanted. And it's over and done with. You still bringing it up. He didn't almost kill anybody. I don't know why you keep saying that, because nobody went to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Nobody. Where did you get that from? I don't know.
I say he acted like an asshole. I'll say that, but he served his time for it. It was about that happened, I think, in 2021. I think we can move on from that, because
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be
I thought it was
because
longer than that.
there's been much worse things that some fighters have done, and they've come back in the sport, and BBO have supported them respectfully. When you look at Ryan Garcia and his situation that he had with his child's mother, going into the house that his kids live in and destroying everything. So
yeah,
let's not even play that game, BBO, because you don't keep it fair across the board
Yeah.
at
Let
all.
me say this right here to BBO on that whole situation. Everybody deserves forgiveness, and everybody can change, and I'm living proof of that. So I'm not gonna never be the person that look at Tank and try to judge him or pass. I just don't feel like that we should be passing judgment on anyone. Everybody's been young, everybody's made mistakes. BBO, you've made mistakes, and
Thanks.
you wanted forgiveness and ask for forgiveness, and you want people to judge you on who you are now, not what you was yesterday. So we got to start, man, looking at us and saying, hey, man, we're going to hold each other accountable, but we also going to help each other, and we're not going to tear each other down or hold on to past issues. And I don't want to do that with Tank. I'm looking at what he's becoming, and I see a person that's working on himself and is trying to find himself. So let's just focus on that. It's not about me. No, it's about it. Yeah, it is about you, because you're an older black man, and you should be able to know that, hey, man, we all make mistakes. You've made mistakes. So when we pass judgment, we got to be able to look at ourselves and say, hey, man, did I pass judgment on myself? Don't I want people to feel like I changed? Am I a better person? Yeah, it's about us. It's about me. It's about you. It's about everything. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to those type of situations, Tank is a young black man coming up in America. You know what I'm saying? Come from the streets, hard times, made mistakes, and he's learning. I ain't giving him no pass.
Why should we have to hold him accountable? The court system held him accountable. Why
Right.
we
yeah,
got to be the one to do that?
Definitely.
yeah. I ain't trying to do that to him or no damn body. You know what I mean?
BBO, you need to cut it out. I'm sorry, Crush. You need to cut it
No,
out,
you
man.
good.
You need to cut it out. It's okay sometimes to whatever you want to call it that you're doing, but man, that's not the problem. The problem is when you got brothers that's not willing to reach back and help those brothers that's making mistakes. The problem is when you sit up, man, looking high and mighty and looking down on people and not willing to say, hey, man, that young man needs help. See, I had that same problem. And it was people talking just like you talking, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't willing to give me help. You know what I'm saying? It's why it took me a lot longer to find myself than it should have. You understand what I'm saying? I keep it real, B-Ro. You understand what I'm saying? I hold myself accountable, and I ain't proud of nothing I done. But at the same time, I know that ain't nobody perfect. Nobody.
No, and the thing is,
Then
like the
about
thing is,
on.
you gotta understand that you haven't heard Tank Davis' name in any bad light since those situations. The man has made improvements on his life. So if you can't see that, then I don't know what you're looking at. You only looking at negative because, like Marky Dan said, I thought it was longer, but that was back in 2021. It's 2025. All of the allegations that you're talking about are years ago. You haven't heard him in any bad light since then. The most you might have heard was, "Oh, we don't know what's going on with Tank in his corner." That's the only thing you heard bad about Tank. We don't know what's going on
No, I'm
with him
not
in
being
his corner.
disingenuous,
But
BBO.
far as in the
I'm
public,
being real. I'm sorry,
he ain't.
I'm being real.
Yeah, only thing bad
I
about
mean,
Tank
you
recently
gotta
is
learn to
BBO.
forgive it.
Man, BBO, you gotta come up, man.
And the reason I say I'm being real, BBO, I go every day out of my way to help people because I know I needed help. Whether it's me going to the rehabs and talking to people, you know, those are things I do, BBO, because I've been in those positions. So everything I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, can be proven and proven fact. You know what I'm saying? I get up and tell my stories in front of people and let people know I'm not ashamed of who I was. That's why I keep telling you, everything I'm saying, I can see, I know what Tank going through. I've been there and I see what he's trying to do. If it was my daughter, BVO, I would forgive. I can say that all day. I can forgive. I keep telling you, people, I'm not that same person. I know how to forgive. The court system, see what I'm not the dude in the streets that's handling street business anymore. I'm a working man now. You understand? There's a difference between being a street guy and knowing how can I help my daughter if I was gonna go out there and somebody ran into my daughter's car, then I go out there and do something, kill them or something. What am I doing to help my daughter? I just made things worse. Now
You'd
my
have
daughter
filed a
don't even
report
got
on them, though, right? You'd have filed a report, though, right?
Yeah.
See the way BBO talking is one or two things. It's one or two things. Either he never did anything wrong to be forgiven for, or he did something wrong and the person didn't forgive him. So now he's holding everybody the same way they held him. So it's only one or two reasons that you still harping on something that happened years ago. Now, it's
Who
what's
playing devil's
funny about it.
advocate? Is Free
What's
making
even
excuses for that behavior? Am I making excuses for? I
no
said he acted
no
like an asshole.
like I said, the man paid his debt to society. Like I said, you keep saying he almost took somebody's life. Nobody went to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. That's why I said you keep throwing extra sauce on it. You ain't got to do that. You can just tell what the facts are. But the problem is you bringing this up, and ain't nobody else bringing it up. We don't hear the lady still in the news talking about, oh, he still owe me this. I didn't get what I thought I was deserved. You're the only one that keep bringing it up. You're the only one that keep bringing it up. Let it go. It didn't happen to you. If they let it go, you let it go. Why are you still holding on to it? It didn't even happen to you.
Yeah, and this fight is that them much worse-ish than that. Nobody even got injured. You know, nobody even got injured. You know, they got their soul scared out of them, but it came back into their body. So why still
nah. We can't make excuses for that.
No, Marky. Crush is absolutely right. Nobody got injured. Even the people that was in the car, they said they don't understand why she's doing this. Nobody got hurt. They said it. They came out and said it. The people that was in the car with the young lady said, I don't know why she's doing this. Nobody got hurt.
Well, I know one thing. All I'm saying is, if you get into a car accident, you stop. That's all I'm saying. You don't get it. Hold on.
You get all that, bro.
Was wrong.
No, he got up in a car and
he already paid for that.
Yeah, but he paid
already.
No. Absolutely, and I'm not holding him accountable to that. I just don't think we should soften it. Like I heard Crush saying, well, ain't nobody. No. Hold on.
Hey, everybody, hold on for a minute. Let me say this right here, BBO.
Go ahead.
All I want you to do is hold on 1 second. BBO, all I want
fine.
you to do is this. All I want you to do is this. And this is coming from a place of love as your brother. Man, you ride your own people harder than you ride other folks. And I don't like that. And I'm keeping it 100. I'm keeping it 100 now. This ain't no joking or nothing. You will ride the wheels off of a situation and not give a brother a chance to change his life. That ain't right. I don't care what you say in the comments or excuses you make. Man, it can be, listen, I know I done had family members, man, listen, I went to jail for defending my sister. I don't mind telling the truth, BBO. Cut it out, man. Sometimes you got to look at the situation and say the man made a mistake. He was wrong for it. He went to jail. He paid his time. I ain't God. I wasn't a jury. I ain't passing no judgment. It's not my situation. I'm saying, what is he doing now to better himself? Is he changing his life? Is what you need to be worried about. Has he learned from his mistakes? Is what you need to be worried about if you're going to worry about something. You know what I'm saying? The things that you're worrying about is saying you're holding on to something from a man, you know what I'm saying, that you don't know, never met. Or, you know what I'm saying? I can't hold on to, I can't keep doing that, man. I'm just telling you, B-boy, sometimes, man, you got to look, man. This coming from a man, an OG. I'm talking about mentally and older than you, telling you that sometimes, man, I'm not God, period. He treats blacks like crap. Well, I can't say that, BBO. I mean,
wait a minute. Wait a freaking minute.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
No,
you
not
crap,
God, but you acting like God.
Blacks like crap.
You acting like God. You want everybody to keep bringing up his daggone past. The only person that's going to look at your past when you die is God.
I'll be right
Ain't
back,
nobody
y'all.
else looking at your past.
Right. He said he spoke to Tank before, and he was a goofball. A lot of people think you a goofball.
No,
doing some goofball stuff right now, bro.
Exactly. Everybody
doing some goofball stuff right now, bro. So he probably gave you back the same goofball energy that you deserve because you're a goofball. There you go.
No, everybody thought you was a troll. We roll for you. We like, no, BBO is a good dude. He's doing things. He's changing things up. And they gave you a second chance. Yeah. Why you can't give that man a second chance? You willing to give everybody a second chance. Oh, Bernard Hopkins, he went to jail and he came out. He did this, he did that. You don't bring up nothing that Bernard Hopkins did when he went to jail. You don't bring that up.
Yeah, I like to visit guys in the bathroom, but listen.
No, the man went to jail. He paid his debt to society. I don't see. Hey, congratulations, Tank. I like how you taking care of your community. You went over there and rebuild your whole block. You redid your whole new block. This man talking about he want to go to therapy so he can be a better man for his kids. That's what he's supposed to be doing. That's what I like to hear from him. I don't hear none of that. I hear, oh man, this man almost took somebody's life when he didn't. You started talking about stuff that happened 4 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah,
BBO said Negroes did that to me because I was trying to find my way.
Yeah, get out of here with that voice.
I can't do my brother. Look.
Hey, get out of here with that voice.
That's the problem with media. That's what we're supposed to be here for, because media is going to focus on the bad stuff. They're going to show the light on some good stuff, but they're going to focus on the bad stuff. We're supposed to be here giving them the real stuff that's what's going on, what media is not talking about. That's what we're here for, to give the people what media is not talking about.
Yeah. Facts. I agree 100% with that, man. I agree 100%. Man, I'm going to say this one thing before we close out. BBO, you know everything I tell you is come from a place of love, and all of us. He said he's going to leave it alone. I just want you to focus on this. If you knew me from the past, people, the stuff I've done, you gave me an opportunity. Y'all have given me an opportunity. I've done a whole lot of things, man, that I ain't proud of. I'm sure some of y'all have. I'm just saying, let's give Shank the same chance that we give everybody else. That's all I'm going to say. Man, this CDK Sports Talk Network. Anybody want to close out? What time we getting together tonight, folks?
We ain't talking about shoo.
I appreciate y'all.
We'll bring shoo up later, man.
Listen, I want to talk about shoo.
Come on, man.
We'll bring him up later,
I apologize for that. Yeah, the reason, Mark and Dan, I got to go. I left my charger at work that charges my laptop. I got to get up there and go get it and recharge. I apologize for that. but I wanted to do something. I didn't want to go, you know what I'm saying, this morning without doing something. We definitely got to talk about Shoo, man, his performance and Monster Anyway and everything else, what's next for him. But that's the only reason I'm closing out now, because BVO had me going. I'm going to make a phone call to BVO in just a minute, talk to my brother.
Hey, but real quick, closing words. Don't activate the Morse meter button, and we out.
We out.
Hey, yo.